Hello, welcome to Dundrol's podcast. I'm your host, Justin. Today, I'm reviewing the 6 episode anime OVA series from 1992, Bastard, Dark Fantasy and Heavy Metal, or Heavy Metal Dark Fantasy. Either way. It's based off the manga by Kazushi Hagiwara. This anime was directed by Katsuhito Akiyama and was produced and I assumed animated by Shueisha. And this was based off a Shonen Jump manga. By the way, just because something's published by Shonen Jump doesn't mean it's for kids. Because if you ever read if you ever read or watched JoJo and Fist of the North Star, that has a lot of graphic violence. I'm pretty sure parents aren't buying that shit for their kids, especially this, since the manga has a lot of nudity and ultra violence, which this anime also has a lot of not so much as much nudity, but there's lots of fan service and a lot of ultra violence, man. Which is probably one of the reasons why, that 80s and 90s anime OVAs were my favorite back in the day because of all the sex and ultra violence and stuff, man. So yeah, the story for this manga is basically, as I found out in the last episode, it takes place. It's kind of similar to Shannara Chronicles. The story takes place in a post-apocalypse fantasy world that was destroyed by this by this demon H.R. Geiger demon thing, which reminded me of that demon pinball game for the Turbo Graphics 16. I forget what it's called, but I have it downloaded on my Wii U. Man, that game had a fucking awesome theme song, right? And yeah, the story's about 15 years ago. There was this powerful evil wizard called Dark Snyder, who was defeated and killed, but really was sealed inside of a younger version of himself called Luce, who was raised by the kingdom that sealed him, right? And now, 15 years later, his former allies, the 4 Lords of Havoc, are going around conquering kingdoms, trying to undo the 4 seals of this ancient demon god called Anthrax, or probably Anthrax, because there's a lot of heavy metal references in this show, but that they because the manga is known for being inspired by heavy metal, stuff, kind of like how JoJo will name characters and stands after musicians and bands. You kind of have this here, where some of the spells and names of places are named after heavy metal bands. There was one town is called Iron Maiden instead of Iron Maiden, which I think they didn't do what the fucking JoJo dubs did, where they changed the names to something similar. Here they pretty much kept the same names, but just altered the pronunciation. Which is, yeah, there's even one of the Dark Snyder spells that he used is named Megadeth. So for people who think I'm wrong about the heavy metal references, watch the show yourself. It's only 6 episodes, right? So yeah, what happens in the first how the story begins is the city that had Dark Snyder sealed is under attack. The daughter of the high priestess, what was her? I forget. Yuki or something like that. There's Japanese names here and there, even though this is supposed to be fantasy world. Like kisses Luce, which is kind of creepy because Luce looks like a little kid, right? And it undoes the seal, and like Dark Snyder comes back to life and helps defend the kingdom and fight the four lords of havoc. Which how the episodes how the story continues is like he'll fight some of his former allies like Gara the ninja and Arishne the dark elf, and they'll join forces with him. And the last episode, he's dead because he had to sacrifice himself for Arishne, and then he comes back in the last like six like minutes left of the episode to defeat the second last Lord of Havoc, right? And then the show ends on a cliffhanger, right? So I really enjoyed the show. The animation was good. The art design was good. I thought it was kind of cool that, like, you know, pretty much in every episode, like, Dark Snyder is wearing a different outfit. Though I kind of preferred the first outfit he was wearing, because it was kind of a mix of barbarian, like Conan the Barbarian, and, like, you know, Japanese fantasy, like, aesthetics with the huge shoulder pads and flowing capes, which I used to think the huge shoulder pads was cool until like the finale of like Mob Psycho 100, where one of the characters makes fun of one of the villains who wear huge shoulder pads, and he's like, why do you wear those shoulder pads? He's like, to protect my shoulders, even though he's not wearing any other armor. Oh my god. If you haven't seen Mob Psycho 100, it's one of the funniest animes to come out in the last 20 fucking years, other than like One Punch Man, which is made by the same person, right? Yeah, a couple problems I have with the show. One, they break the fourth wall a lot, especially in the last couple episodes, which kind of ruins the immersion, right? Which I was not a fan of that. There's some goofy comedy here and there. There's a running joke where there's this one running joke with the guard captain, the captain of the knights or whatever, who's this old man, who fights in every episode, gets his ass kicked, and then you think he's dead, and he shows up in the next episode, right? And then like other characters that were dead also come back to life, like Gara the ninja, who's voiced by Steve Blum, by the way, gets impaled by a tentacle, and somehow survives that, and then he has this magic demon sword that to do like his ultimate attack, he has to sacrifice his life. He does that and comes back to life, and it's like not even like there wasn't like even like somebody did a spell or anything. He's just back to normal, wounds forgotten. It's like, what the fuck? I know this show is goofy at times, but like, what the fuck? But other than that, I did like it. But one problem I did have, another problem I had, is the backstory between like Yoko was the name of the girl, not Yuki. My bad. The backstory between Dark Snyder and his former lover, the Dark Elf, is fucking creepy as fuck. Cause like you find out that she was an orphan girl that he raised, and then whenever she came of age, he started banging her, which that's some creepy groomer fucking bullshit, man. And that is fucked. That is fucked. Very creepy. That was probably I said in like the in my commentary for episode 1 that back in the day I watched the show and I rage quit after episode 4, and I wasn't exactly sure why I rage quit. That was probably the reason, the creepy groomer shit, right? But other than that, the show is good, I would say, but if I were to give it a rating, it's still a 6.5 out of 10. It ends on a cliffhanger. The animation last episode is not that great. A lot of like backgrounds with speeding lines that like a lot of people who hate anime make fun of anime for. Which they didn't have that shit in the previous episodes. But yeah, other than that, I enjoyed the show. And if you're looking for like a cool dark fantasy like mini series to watch, check it out. Though, do I think Bastard is better than Berserk? Fuck no! You fanboys of Bastard are fucking delusional as fuck. Berserk, besides from like the comedic relief, brief scenes with Puck, the elf, Berserk is a serious dark fantasy story, right? It's not like this, like, you know, power fantasy, like, you know, parody, like what fucking Bastard is, right? And the whole reason why you had the Puck, like, comedic relief, because there are times where the story is so, Berserk is so dark and bleak, you kind of need the scenes of like, you know, of comedic relief to kind of like break the tension, right? Because like that other than that, it would just be like depressing, sad porn or whatever the fuck kind of term that anime snob made. But yeah, he's right. You kind because it would have turned into Walking Dead, right? Yeah, so like, yeah, that's all I have to say. 6.5 out of 10. Yeah, I'm hoping this weekend we'll do another retro anime theater. I'm kind of leaning between either Street Fighter 2 the movie, like not the live action, the anime one, or Tekken, the OVA, which I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right, peace.